Hey guys, first regardsman here, and I'll be talking about the recent DLC head controversy in Space Marine 2 Patch 12. And to talk about this with me, I have brought on Jefficus. Now, we've talked about this before and what we thought about the $5 head pack. What are your thoughts about the recent release of this pack?
First off, guys, I'm sorry if I sound weird. I have been blessed by Nurgle. We Death Guard now, boys. We Death Guard. But my initial thoughts are the same thoughts that I had when we made our previous video, which you should totally flash on the screen. And what I said then was that I was really worried that this might be the first step in a long line of DLCs or microtransactions or whatever you would like to call them, where we're going to see this degrade in quality for more quantity. Saber is definitely trying to make more money. Focus is trying to make more money, and they're willing to put out effectively a slop DLC in order to get this to happen. And I think that I could very comfortably call it slop just by looking at the reviews on Steam for this voice pack. It's actually really sad.
I definitely agree it is a slop DLC. I think this is just the worst DLC we've had in Space Marine 2. I was also worried about the fact that they were putting this out separate from the season pass. Now, when they said it was going to be $5, I was like, okay, $5 isn't that expensive. But this really is just a low quality DLC. Like, I don't think anybody has been particularly satisfied with this. The voice acting is okay at best. And compared to even like some of the cosmetic packs, this one is just not quite there in quality at all. And I assume they're going to be trying to release these more and more. And the fact that the community is now having like a proper backlash to that, I think that's a pretty good thing for the game in the sense that we really do not need more slop DLCs, like you said. And as far as what the community managers have talked about when it comes to this DLC, they've been on some serious damage control here. They said that the mid-operation voice changes back to the main characters is intentional, and also it would have cost them $25 to hire voice actors for all lines. That's something they've actually said. I think that sounds like baloney to me, honestly. I don't know how that could possibly be true if you just look at like the general gaming market space for like any DLC we've had, or even like just the base game that costs $60 for everything we already have there with like 6 different classes. But what do you think about that?
Dude, the $25 thing just really gets to me because you have a game like Warhammer 40k Darktide, where they release the Hive Scum and the Arbitrator, which are both paid DLCs. Which, Space Marine 2, they release their classes for free. That's awesome. But with those paid DLCs, you're also paying for voice lines and you're paying for voice actors. If you guys aren't familiar, in Darktide, you have 3 different voice options for both the male and female characters for each class. So we're talking about effectively 12 different voice actors over 2 different classes, which is insane that they're able to get Fat Shark is able to get this bandwidth recruited for their game for only what, $12, $10
Yeah, it's
for the
like
DLC
$12.
for Hive Scum and for Arbitrator. That's insane. And the Arbitrator is already on sale. And so it's absurd to say that it would require $25 just for voice acting. That doesn't make any sense, especially considering that it's only 3 voice actors.
I mean, maybe if
And
they're like the most expensive voice actors that you could possibly
yeah,
get.
you're trying to
They
hire a
went to
celebrity.
Cameo. They went to Cameo to get like the
You
best
want
voice lines.
Owen Wilson. You want You want Owen Wilson. But the fucking the Hive Scum and Arbitrator were full on classes. Like they had to use development time in order to add those into the game. These DLC heads, they don't even move in game. They have no expressions. They don't talk.
That is true.
They don't shout for the Emperor whenever, they actually shout for the Emperor or whatever. It's sad, dude. It's sad.
I
The
mean, it's
DLC
just
itself is
greedy.
sad.
I would say it's just greedy in the sense
Dude,
that
it's
they,
super greedy.
especially given the comments they previously had, were like, "Of course we want your money." That's also been some of the community managers previously that like this was a money move for them. And they're like, "Oh, we want players asked for this, so we added it in." But I just think that the price, the quality of the voice lines is garbage, quite frankly. The fact that they are like willing to say, "Oh, it would cost $25 for this. Oh, we want your money. Oh, it's either this or AI voicing," or they said AI voices were going to be used if they did not hire voice actors, and they simultaneously say that voice actors cost like a ridiculous amount. It's baloney to me. I think that the community backlash is
Yeah, it's smoke and
100%
mirrors.
justified, and you see time and time again that communities or developers like this, they will dig their heels in when they have like a major backlash, and like really what just comes down to like one DLC pack. They have a major backlash and they just keep digging their heels in, and they're like, no, actually we had to make it this way, instead of just apologizing and moving on and say like, okay, we're gonna fix it in the next one, because they're definitely gonna try to do this again. They will try to drop more of these $5 DLC packs. There's already like leaks for like a Raven Guard and a White Scars helmet. So
Yep.
from what we can tell, they're going to be keeping up with these DLC packs as like a major thing along the major patch lines. And I think that if they keep dropping them at this level of quality, people are just going to be like, what the fuck is going on, Saber? And at this point, they need to really make a statement and say like, okay, we're sorry we did this, the quality is not up to standard, and the next one will be better. And that's really all they have to say. But instead of saying like, okay, it costs us $25 to hire all these DLC actors, you guys should just be thankful we did this at all for you. It's a really weird move from them, and this was just a blatant cash grab, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm curious if Saber is going to address the elephant in the room in that way, because I would fully expect that they would make this pack even better. Like they would go back and they would kind of fix what they did. And honestly, at this point, I would expect that they would release this for free for the entire community, because it's just such a massive oopsie that they need better damage control than a community manager just talking in a Discord. Like they need to show the community. They need to make a move of like good faith, because otherwise, dude, like this is ridiculous. If this is what we could expect for Space Marine 3, bro, that's
That's a great point. It would be
unbelievable.
pretty bad for Space
That's
Marine 3.
unbelievable.
I would assume that they will probably make an official statement at some point. There was an IGN article a while back where IGN even commented on the fact that this was like the first major backlash the game has gotten since launch, which is fairly true. I mean, there's like some controversies, but the biggest controversy of all was like just the announcement of this DLC voice pack. And the way it's come out, the blatant cash grab it has been, I think it's indefensible in my opinion. The quality of the voice lines is not even particularly good. The heads look pretty shit for the most part. Like they don't really have any animations. It's just cheap. It's $5 and it still feels like it's not worth $5, which is like pretty insane to me. Because having a DLC voice pack that's like separate from the season pass, I mean, they'd drop a class for free, but I think players would have been more willing to pay for Tech Marine and then have like a bunch of heads dropped like this for free instead. And they probably would have made more money that way anyways. I was talking to Milk and Cookies Total War about this, and he says like he was shocked that the class for this game was free, and instead they dropped like this just low quality voice pack. And I 100% agree. Like I think players are willing to pay for things that are quality, but having a $5 pack that feels like it should be free basically, it's pretty bad for the game, and players were already pretty pissed at them before this even came out, and the fact that it's come out in such a lackluster state, I think is really bad for their PR. So I hope that they do make an official statement on that, or at least like, you know, address this in a way beyond saying like, oh, suck it up, it would have cost us more to do this, be happy we gave you anything, as if like they're not your customers. And historically, I think taking the side of the consumer in controversies like this is the only way to go for a company every single time, but they keep digging their heels in.
Not only that, but this honestly makes me a little worried that we might actually be at the end of the content that they already had developed at the end of Space Marine 2's development cycle. And it's the content that they cut off, and they were like, okay, so this is going to be the DLC content for the game moving forward, and it's going to be really easy to finish this stuff up, put this stuff together, and release in years 1, 2, 3, whatever. And we're now at the point where they've ran out of all that, and all the content that they make from here forward is going to be stuff that the B team or the leftovers, the guys who aren't working on Space Marine 3, are developing. And this is really clear. One of the comments that I saw was something about deadlines, having to meet a deadline, and it was so utterly ridiculous because these voice packs weren't even on the annual pass. There is no deadline. You don't have to rush something like this. Who at, you know, QA or management sat down, listened to these, played with these, and was like, "Oh yeah, that's good. That's good enough." It's not, you know, totally immersion breaking to sound like a blood angel for one sentence and then sound like an ultramarine the next sentence.
Which is
Like,
very strange
what?
because they removed the voice lines mentioning the Tech Marine in the Fall of Atreus operation. So the fact that they left in like these Ultramarine voice lines in the middle of the operation just feels cheap. You know what it really feels like? It feels like a mod. Like you download a mod off Nexus and it had like extra voice lines, but you know, in the case of a mod that's free, it's not an official release at all. It's not being sold to you. And in this case, they're like, oh yeah, it's totally intentional. I'm like, how they possibly think this was like this is gonna go over well with this community. Players in this game already hate a lot of the cosmetic packs. So I am kind of shocked. And a lot of people are saying like, oh, this is totally fine. But I think the community reaction in general is that this voice pack, it was a cash grab, and it's pretty blatant at this point. I think defending it is, I mean, like, I don't think it's worth defending for Saber, to be honest. I just apologize. Like, sorry guys, it was lower quality than we wanted it to be, like deadlines or whatever, but digging your heels in and saying like, oh, it would have cost us like an exorbitant amount to actually make a proper DLC pack. Well, in my opinion, if you were unable to make a proper DLC pack for this, just don't release this one.
Don't make it. Yeah. If it's outside of the scope of what you guys are capable of doing, don't do it. Just if you want to make more money on the side, release a Grey Knight pack, release a Legion of the Damned pack, add armor where it's got crazy particle effects, or it's stuff that that a lot of people are gonna love because they've got major fandoms.
That's a good point.
It sounds scummy, but if you guys want to make money, just do that. Just stick to that.
I would definitely agree. Just release higher quality things, and players will pay for them. But that is all we have to say in this one. Guys, let us know what you think about the DLC voice pack. I know this is a big controversy. Some players think like it's totally fine. Some players are like a little disappointed. My final thoughts on this is that it's obviously a cash grab. I don't hate what's here entirely. I think the Blood Angels and Space Wolves sound okay. Black Templar says like a lot of hiyaing when he's swinging around his sword. It's just, it's pretty low quality, but I would probably have refunded this if I was like, not content creator for the game, but hopefully they improve these going forward and they do respond to this in a better way in the future. But let us know what you guys think in the comments below. And Jeff, thank you for coming on to talk about this with me, even while you were sick with Nurgle's Plague. And you have anything, final thoughts?
Final thoughts. I'm just really proud. I'm really proud of the community for sticking up for itself.
I definitely agree on that.
Yeah.
All right, guys, that's all. Thank you for watching. Take it easy. Bye.
The Emperor protects.